Trade is fundamental to the economic development of a country, and every government should take steps to protect domestic firms against foreign competition and to control the volume of imports entering their country.
Tariffs and duties are two of the ways in which a government can intervene. Tariff barriers, however, impose a direct cost to transport operations. Non-tariff barriers restrict activities by other means. There are two types of tariffs imposed: specific tariffs and ad valorem. Import and export activities are tied up in some manner of licensing system. This has to be fair, transparent, non-discriminatory, and justifiable.
However, a country may impose standards and testing against those standards to increase the cost and difficulty of gaining access to its markets. This sanction is obviously eroded by the existence of the International Organization for Standardization, but the ISO cannot establish a standard for everything.
Foreign producers may attempt to gain or establish market share by underpricing their products or services. This is anti-competitive and is known as dumping, and is a misuse of economic power to force competitors out of the market.
Government bureaucracy may impose the following remedies to prevent such things from happening: complex customs entry procedures, government grants and subsidies, and exchange controls.
Of course, governments will always intervene and look out for their country's best interests. Economic motivations for government intervention include the following: protection of infant industries, protection of employment, collection of government revenues, balance of payments, national security and safety, and to avoid dumping.
Free trade is a trade policy that does not restrict imports or exports, such as having no tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions, and is desirable only if all countries play according to the same rules. A country may, however, put in place limits on the physical amounts of particular commodities that can be imported or exported during a specific time period. Quantitative restrictions have a greater protective effect than tariff measures and are more likely to distort free trade.
Some of these restrictions are import quotas, subsidies, exchange controls, exchange rate policies.
Countries need to be mindful that trade restrictions can lead to retaliation. For example, if one country restricts another from importing goods, then the other country will retaliate and impose the same restrictions back.
Fortunately, there are some key players in the international trade who can ensure that trade is done fairly across the board. These role players include the World Trade Organization, the Brussels Convention, the Rome Convention, the Vienna Convention, SADC, SADC Trade Protocol, and international labor codes.
All countries should look at international trade as a benefit to their country, as nations that expand trade with others increase economic growth and improve the quality of life of their people.